How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. This is the JR Wisdom channel. As usual, I'm coming at you with another video in reference to a question that I had from a viewer of mine. I guess she's been following my YouTube channel, from my understanding, for a minute now. JR Wisdom as usual, the mental alchemist. I'm gonna just promote. You probably see it backwards here, but I'm just gonna promote my shirt real quick. I'll get to that at the end. Anyway, she had a few questions, and I'm gonna just dive into it for you guys. She just wanted to share because she feels like it could be helpful as well to some people, because she had some questions in reference to this as far as marriage, and it's kind of like cold feet, so on and so forth. So with that being said, I'm gonna just jump right into it. I'm gonna read her email, and I'm going to answer her questions from here. So she says, Assalamu alaikum. Hope this email finds you well and in good health. My name is blah, 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 and I'm a current listener of your YouTube channel. I really enjoy your insight and love how it is grounded in both faith and reason. I understand on your channel you provide advice about life and relationships, and today I actually had a question about the latter. Currently, I'm a 23-year-old Muslimah, and God willing, I will be getting married here soon. I'm nervous, not about the person I hope to marry, but rather about the marriage itself. Fulfilling long-term marriages are hard to come by these days, and sadly, divorce is affecting so many communities, including my own Muslim community. I don't want to be in a marriage that's short or unfulfilling, because God willing, I would hope to be with this person both in this dunya and in the hereafter. Dunya is this life right here on earth, for those of you who aren't familiar. Anyway, I come from a traditional conservative Muslim household where marriage is expected of us, and so as a result, my mother made sure to teach us about femininity, cooking, cleaning, and raising a family from a young age. I appreciate having this knowledge, especially now. But I know that to make a marriage truly last, you need more than just the understanding of making a household run, because at the end of the day, what good does having a peaceful house become when you and your spouse are not each other's peace? In this short time I have before my marriage actually takes place, I really want to dedicate my life and effort into learning about marriage and about the opposite gender. Very wise, sister. Unfortunately, this has been a bit difficult because in Islam, we value haya, modesty. As a result, many are shy to speak about gender relations and intimate matters relating to marriage. I have found many are quick to offer advice about wedding-related things, but only a few actually give advice about marriage itself and what it takes to make a marriage successful. As a woman, I can appreciate wedding talk, but at the end of the day, my nikah will only be for one day. Nikah is marriage. While my marriage, God willing, will be long lasting, and so I would rather shift my focus to that. Very smart, very smart. JR, I guess my question to you then becomes, could you please offer advice on marriage from the male perspective? For example, besides the need for respect and intimacy, what are the other love needs of a man? How does a couple maintain interest, variety, and long-term marriage, especially since men have short attention spans? What does a masculine man desire in a successful marriage or wife? Why do you think so many marriages are ending? Is it simply a matter of couples growing apart, or is it deeper than that? Lastly, men typically take longer to fall in love with a woman, with some even saying that most men take 2 to 5 years to actually fall in love. Not true. How then does a woman facilitate this love in the relationship, since us women tend to fall in love much faster? Not true. I understand that these are a lot of questions, but I would love your candid perspective on the discussion points, because I truly feel like one of the reasons people in my generation are divorcing so quickly is in part due to a lack of proper understanding of the opposite gender and marriage itself. Before ending this email, I wanted to say a person who grew up in a Muslim household is very humbling to see someone who later found Islam speaking about the deen in such a beautiful way. I hope you are able to continue on your journey of healing purpose. Jazakallah khairan, brother, for your time, and may the blessings of Allah reach you and your family, inshallah ta'ala. So, this is a very beautiful email that you sent me, sister. I appreciate it, and I hope that I'm able to answer your questions in a rightful manner from my perspective. Once again, the disclaimer: I'm not a sheikh or imam, so I'm answering this from a perspective, a Western perspective, for someone who grew up in the United States. I don't have all the answers to everything, so I look at it both ways, just from a human perspective. And I'm gonna say that from every single question that's asked in reference to this, I can only answer it from that way because I wasn't raised in this type of household like you. So just to expound, I followed up with her before I wanted to answer this email, and she is, like she said, she's a young lady. She's from I'm assuming you're first generation African household. She didn't specify what country, so but it's a Muslim household. So I'm gonna just discuss this and answer your questions to the best of my ability, and you can go from there as far as that. A lot of times, like I said from the previous video I did, you should consult your imam. I understand you want to get an outside perspective, but always consult your imam or father or whoever in reference to these issues. So my thing is marriage, and I think people, including myself, because obviously I was in a state of ignorance at one point. Not saying that you are, but I was 18, 19 when I got married. I was in a state of ignorance. I didn't know any better. And not to say that anything is really wrong with that, but you don't really have any experience really at that age. And you're looking for something which Islamically, marriage is completing half of your deen, as we all know. And it completes you, and many women want this fairy tale, which is what men should be providing to their ladies and their wives at the end of the day. You want this fairy tale of happily ever after, and that's not always how it is. Marriage is a job. Marriage is struggle. Marriage is understanding. Marriage is work. And if you're having, my advice to a lot of people, if you're having these issues before you even walk down the aisle or give yourself to the other, then those are issues that need to be worked out. You should not be entering marriage when you have issues, when you're arguing, fighting. Even having a child does not resolve it, in terms of that. And I'm assuming, not to say that it doesn't happen in Muslim marriages, or Islamic marriages, but children don't resolve anything. So to answer your question, communication to me is the main reason why people divorce and things fall apart. Other than that, besides it being finances, that's one of the biggest reasons. You both should want to desire the same thing when it comes to being married. You should be on the same sheet of music. That will alleviate a whole lot of BS that comes along with marriage. And this is Islam, or even outside of that, you shouldn't be compelled to marry a certain person. People get cold feet and they feel like, because when a marriage is an agreement and it's forever. It's not designed to be something temporary. That's one of the permissible things of Allah that he hates the most. And they say the shaitan loves it, when he breaks up a family or a husband and wife. So you have to understand that with marriage, it's not to be taken lightly. Marriage is supposed to be forever. That comes with infidelity, whatever you want to call it. When you take those vows, sickness and health, to death do you part, so on and so forth. But you're not to be someone's slave. Man and woman are equal, but they're different. There are certain roles that a man fulfills and a woman fulfills. A man is supposed to be the provider, supposed to provide guidance, protection, security. He's the cherisher of a woman. He basically is financially and he's the stability of the family. The woman, the wife, is about nurturing. She's about supporting. She's about building that household or making it a home at the end of the day. And if you guys are having issues communicating, that's not going to last. It's a foundation, it's a business. And a lot of people don't like to hear that, but a marriage is a business. Family is business. That's how it is. You have to realize this before you take that step. You know, in marriage, man and woman are equal, but they're different. Men should help their wives with it shouldn't be just a woman just doing household work. Men should help their wives with housework, cooking, cleaning, all those other things. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he helped out around the house. He cooked, he cleaned, he sewed, he did yard work, he did all these things. He didn't just leave it up to his wife to do it. And from what I'm hearing, I don't know it firsthand, but from what I hear secondhand, is that in many Islamic countries that the woman is treated like a slave. And you got the father, you got the perspective of the husband is the father, and the wife is really like the slave girl or the daughter doing chores around the house, and he's just kicking his feet up. That's not how it's supposed to be, and that's not how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam conducted himself. So we need to keep that in mind. At the same time, there shouldn't be any fights. There's disagreements, and you guys communicate about it. But if it's something that you can't get over, you can't get past, then that's where divorce comes in. It's just a part of it. I believe off the top of my head, and you don't quote me directly, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had to divorce one of his wives because she was always bickering, argumentative, belligerent, and going against him. So he had to divorce her because of that, because it just wasn't going to work out. Sometimes things don't work out. That's just how it is. Sometimes people do grow apart. That's just how it is. This is life. You're not here forever. You know, that's just how it is. He wouldn't argue, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He wouldn't argue with his wives. He would be understanding. He would talk to his wives, try to be understanding as a man. But if the woman is just being belligerent and just doesn't want to communicate, then there's really no need to go on. I understand that, you know, things happen, but sometimes some people aren't supposed to be together at the end of the day. It's an experience, and it happens. But sometimes, I mean, divorce is permissible at the end of the day. It's not haram, it's permissible. It's one of the worst things that are permissible, but it's permissible. So we have to keep that in mind. You know, you have people like Umar ibn al-Khattab, or Umar ibn Khattab, who, you know, one of the Sahabas or Sahabi of the Prophet, one of the harshest men, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he said that a man should be like a child when he's with his wife. The fun should always be there, to answer your question. You should be like kids. You know, kids are always happy. They don't hold grudges. You know, they get in fights. They make right back up. They play. And that's something that we need to keep in mind. And us as adults, as we grow up, we hold grudges. We don't forget stuff. And we're not like kids. A relationship, a marriage should be playful. That's how it is. But when it's time to be a man for your family and your wife, then a man should be a man, and you should be able to know the difference between the two, when to play and when to be a man. And I think that's what Umar ibn Khattab was trying to say. May Allah be pleased with him. So we just have to keep that in mind as well. It should be playful. You should be playful with your spouse, and that's how you maintain longevity in a marriage, so on and so forth. I'm just going to go back to addressing them. I'm just reading her questions here. Besides the need for respect and intimacy, what are the other love needs of a man? Well, a man, the biggest thing, if you're supportive, if you're a feminine woman like you say you are, if you're supportive of a man, and not to say that he shouldn't have these same qualities, but if you're supportive of a man and you're a feminine woman, then you shouldn't have any issues. It sounds like you were reared, and I hate to say that term, And as far as in your household, sounds like you were brought up the right way. How does a couple maintain interest variety in a long-term marriage, especially since men have short attention spans? I think it goes back to communication in terms of that and knowing what you want. Some people haven't matured yet, and they grow up. You can be married and grow together, but some haven't matured and they let outside influences affect their marriage instead of the husband and wife, communicating, which is one way to longevity. And men, I wouldn't say men have short attention spans. People have short attention spans. But when you let outside forces influence your marriage, that's where it all falls down. Communication is the biggest key. You let other family members affect your marriage. That's another thing that happens. What does a masculine man desire in a successful marriage? Wife. I think I just addressed that. You have positive and negative. A masculine man desires a feminine woman. He doesn't desire a masculine woman. It's not going to work. And vice versa. A feminine woman doesn't desire. You'll see couples like this in life if you pay attention. If you have a masculine woman, she doesn't want a masculine man. She wants a feminine man, and you'll see this. So just pay attention to that. That's what they desire. A successful man, that he'll desire either a woman that's just a trophy wife, or he'll desire a woman that's trying to help him build and be more successful, and he can make her successful. Because you're not really a man unless you can make, to me, you're not, unless you can make the woman, your significant other, successful as well, or to build. Why do you think so many marriages are ending? Is it simply a matter of couples growing apart, or is it deeper than that? I think it's ending because of communication once again. People not knowing who they are before they get married, not knowing what they want before they get married, and growing apart, that does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. It's things like that. It happens. So, but that's basically what I think about that. Lastly, men take longer to fall in love with a woman, with some even saying that most men take 2 to 5 years to actually fall in love. How then does a woman facilitate the love in a relationship, since us women tend to fall in love faster? I don't think women fall in love faster. I think men actually fall in love faster. And I think, scientifically, I think it's that way. That men actually fall for a woman way before. Women fall in love a lot slower. And I think it's the same way as far as falling out of love. It's a lot slower. It's a time process. That's why a lot of guys are surprised when a woman's ready to leave, because they think that she'll be there forever. But I think men fall for a woman a lot quicker than the opposite. So with that being said, I hope this answers your question. I'm going to attach some other videos that I've done in the past at the end of this, and I'm going to link in the description, because I think I have like 3 videos. I have one on what I talked about earlier, Be Like Children, The Rib, and I have one on basically Dear Men, something about wifing. If she fits these different qualities, then go ahead and wife her. So I'll have all those. I'll try to link them it should be popping up here soon, or check the links in the description. Also, like I said, y'all saw me put up my shirt here, The Mental Alchemist. I got the Flower of Life. These are they're the Infinity Stones, but I wanted to do the chakras or whatever. But I was thinking about changing my channel to that. So if you want to support, make sure you guys get you one of these shirts here. Everybody should be a mental alchemist. That's the goal in life, hopefully, for a lot of us, to be able to change our thoughts at will. So with that being said, if you guys like the video, make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Make sure you share it. Make sure you check out the merchandise. If you got any videos, or you got any topics or any questions you'd like me to discuss, feel free to email me. If you want to book a one-on-one with me to discuss any issues or a coaching session, feel free to contact me. The link is in the description. With that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next live stream, chat, video, whatever. Peace be upon you, and the mercy and blessings of the Almighty, and I'm out. Peace.